Happy day, friends. Happy day. Today, Spirit is wanting me to speak on the subject of abundance. Okay, and so we're just going to allow Spirit to speak to us about abundance. Where do we need to shift in our understanding about abundance? Where do we need to shift in our understanding about abundance? Where do we need to shift in our thought process whenever it comes to the conversation of abundance? Okay, so go ahead and for a brief moment, close your eyes. Bring your hands into prayer position in front of your heart space. Begin to notice your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Taking a deep breath in. Exhaling out through your nose. Allowing yourself to be open so that you can receive what it is that Spirit may have for you to receive. Taking another deep breath in. And exhaling. And we just give thanks for this moment that is full of revelation, full of insight and guidance, this moment that is providing us with wisdom, this moment that is grounding us into truth, this moment that is cultivating change for us on our behalf, just because we are here, present, willing to listen, willing to receive, willing to embody something new. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale it out. And open your eyes. So the first thing that Spirit wants us to hear whenever it comes to the conversation around abundance is that many of us have been living with this mindset that abundance is seasonal. Okay, and the example that came through with that is the energy of Christmas season, right? So just take a second to think about Christmas time and all the joy and the happiness and the good energy, the uplifting energy, the positive, abundant energy that is present during Christmas season. And then think about how leading up to Christmas, that energy is so bright and it's abundant and it's everywhere. You can go anywhere and that energy is present. And then after the Christmas season passes on, that energy seems to dwindle away as well. And so this is what Spirit is saying. That is what Spirit is referring to whenever we speak of seasonal abundance. Many people are living with the mindset that abundance is seasonal. Okay, that it comes and that it goes. But Spirit wants to remind us that abundance is a state of being. Abundance is a state of being. And we are being invited to settle into a new state, to settle into this state of abundance. So when we settle into a new state, what that means is that we are taking up residence. Okay, when you move to a new state, you have to change your residency. Okay, so whenever we're thinking about abundance right now, let's think about it in terms of we are moving from one state to another. And it's required for us, after being in this new state for so long, to take up residency, to change our residency. Okay, whether that's getting a new driver's license, getting a new tag for our vehicle, we have to take up residency, because that is the new state that we are dwelling within. So Spirit is saying it's time for you to settle into a new state. And how you do that is by identifying that you are living with this mindset that says abundance is seasonal. Spirit is also speaking to this mindset that you have where you're telling yourself, you're in your subconscious mind, you're believing that abundance is unachievable, that it's not possible for you to achieve living a life of abundance. Okay, Spirit is speaking to, there's this message that we live in a world, right, where our world is so focused on achieving, our world is so focused on accomplishing, and so we have separated ourselves from certain realities that are eternal. Okay, earthly abundance is temporary. Earthly abundance is temporary. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't seek to enjoy earthly abundance. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't seek to enjoy our lives, to live it to the fullest, to go out and purchase the things that we desire, it doesn't even mean that we shouldn't desire to experience earthly abundance, but we should be living with the mindset, with the understanding that earthly abundance is temporary. So what that means is that abundance is not a thing that you can achieve. Abundance is not a thing that you can attain. Abundance is not something that you can attain, okay? Abundance is a state of being. And you are being asked and invited to dwell there within, to take up residency within this new state of being. So one of the ways that you can do that, okay, is by remembering when you go outside and you look outside and you see the birds and you see the trees and you see the plants and you see the flowers, the first thing that you should do when you're observing everything around you out in nature is remember that what you are looking at is a reflection of yourself. You are a part of nature. You are a part of nature, which means you are a part of the abundance that you are seeing and witnessing and observing when you step out into nature, when you go to the mountains, when you go to the beach, when you go to the forest to go on a hike. Everything that you are observing, everything that you are seeing is a reflection of you. Is a reflection of you. So the abundance that you see out there is a reflection of the abundance that is dwelling within you. This state of being that you have access to is a reflection of you. So it's not that abundance is unachievable. It's that you are grasping after something that is temporary. So if you can start by stepping into a new state, by placing yourself in a new state, mentally, emotionally, energetically, stepping into a new state, taking up residency in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, taking up residency in this new state, the external will follow. You'll begin to notice the synchronicities, right? Life will begin to guide you. You will notice that the universe has always been conspiring on your behalf so that you can experience life and experience it more abundantly. But because you were looking with your two eyes, you were looking for abundance rather than dwelling within an abundant state. And so it seemed like it appeared as if abundance was passing you by. It's not passing you by. It's not passing you by. You are just dwelling in a state that has you believing abundance is passing you by. And so now you're being invited to take up residency in a new state. You're being asked to settle into a new state. This can only be done, right? This is not a tangible process. So when we speak of trusting the process, when we speak of having faith, believing in and trusting the process, this is why, because the process of settling into this new state, into this abundant state of being, is not a tangible process. There will be tangible evidence. There will be tangible evidence. But faith, right? Faith is not about what I can see. It's about trusting in the unseen processes. So you are being asked, you're being invited, are you willing to let go of the thought that says you have to work hard to live an abundant life? Because in your working hard, what happens is you exhaust yourself. You exhaust yourself. You wear yourself down. You wear yourself out. And so then your body is in this state of, there's all this tension within your body. But when you are in a rested state, you can be more open to receiving guidance, direction. You can be more open to the synchronicities that are ever present, ever trying to get your attention. But sometimes you miss the synchronicities. Sometimes you miss out on seeing that the universe is always conspiring on your behalf, because you are in a state of desperation, because you are in a state of worry, because you're living in a state of fear. So God is saying, are you willing to try it a different way? If this way isn't working, what is that quote? When you do the same thing over and over and you expect different results, that they say that's insanity. So God is saying, are you willing to settle into a new state, to take up residency in a new state in your mind, body, and spirit, so that you can experience something new? So that you can experience something new. Again, abundance is a state of being. Abundance is a state of being. And it's a state of being that you have access to. Everyone has access to it. The birds are constantly showing us, constantly serving as an example to us that abundance is available, we live. The earth is abundant and full of everything that we need. But will we give ourselves permission to believe that? Because the outside narrative says otherwise. The outside narrative says that abundance only belongs to a few. The outside narrative says that you have to work day and night. You have to hustle so hard in order to experience an abundant life. That's what the outside narrative says. But what does your internal narrative say? What is your soul saying? What is the wisdom, the wisdom that lives within you? What is that wisdom saying? What is your soul saying? So in order for you to hear what your soul is saying, in order for you to receive this wisdom, in order for you to allow it to guide your life, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. You have to surrender your way of thinking for a much higher way of thinking. You have to surrender your way of thinking for a much higher way of thinking. You have to surrender your understanding so that new knowledge, new information, new wisdom can come through. You have to surrender. You have to let go and surrender, right? When you settle into a new state and you go and you get your new license, they say you're surrendering your Oklahoma, you moved to Texas, you're from Oklahoma, they say you're surrendering your Oklahoma license. So you're being invited to surrender one state so that you can dwell within a new one. You are no longer, seasonal abundance no longer resonates with you. Seasonal abundance no longer resonates with you. That Christmas season energy, it is possible for you to carry that energy with you through all seasons of life, through all seasons, through winter, spring, summer, and fall. It doesn't have to be limited to the holiday season. Earthly abundance is temporary. But abundance, you are the essence behind. You are the essence. You are the fire that fuels the abundant state of being. And all you have to do is just let yourself be. You are the fire. You are the fuel. You are what fuels. The essence of who you are is what fuels the abundant state of being. And all you have to do is just let yourself be. Let yourself dwell there within. I love you so much. If you have any thoughts, make sure to leave them in the comments. And remember that it's a daily practice. That within every moment you have to choose faith over fear. You have to choose faith over fear within every moment. It's a daily practice. Allow your breath to guide you. Allow your breath to ground you. That is your life force energy. And that life force energy will help you settle into this new state. You're not alone. You're not alone.